let me ask you something. What if the key to your next brilliant idea wasn't doing more, but actually doing less? A lot less. Today, we're diving into the Bored in Brilliant Quest, which is this amazing challenge designed to help you disconnect from your phone so you can reconnect with your own creative mind.
No, seriously, think about it for a second. That moment you're standing in line, waiting for the bus, or in that little gap between meetings. When was the last time you just stood there and let your mind wander, without that almost automatic reflex to pull out your phone?
And that right there is the whole idea behind this. It completely reframes what we think boredom is. It's not some empty void you have to fill immediately. Instead, it's a space that can be explored. It's kind of like the fertile ground where new, unexpected ideas can actually start to sprout.
Wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows the trade-off we're making all the time, probably without even thinking about it. On one side, you've got constant connection, just passively scrolling, reacting to pings, our attention shattered into a million little pieces. But on the other side, that's where we find creative boredom. That's the space for active imagination, for generating new ideas, and for that deep, focused thought. That's the brilliant part we're trying to get back to.
So, how do we actually do this? Well, the quest is broken down into a super simple 5-day roadmap. We're going to start by confronting the data. Then we'll move on to unplugging our senses, reclaiming our minds, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with a little reflection. So, let's jump in.
All right, day 1. Your quest begins, but not with some huge, drastic action. It starts with a simple moment of awareness. Because, you can't really change a habit until you can actually see it clearly.
The Day 1 challenge is honestly beautifully simple. Just go into your phone's settings, find your screen time stats, and take a look. What are your top 3 apps? Now the key here, and this is important, is the no judgment part. Don't feel guilty. The real benefit is just pure awareness. You're getting a real, honest look at where your attention is going. And that's the absolute first step to making any kind of change.
Okay, so you've got your data. Now we move from just looking to actually doing. The next couple of days are all about taking away the digital filters that we put between ourselves and the real world around us.
So on day 2, the challenge is simple. When you're moving, walking, on the train, whatever it is, phone stays in your pocket. No music, no podcasts. The benefit? You're literally creating space for your mind to just be, to wander, to process stuff, maybe solve a problem in the background. Then on day 3, you go a step further. No photos. Just observe the world with your own eyes, not through a camera lens.
And that gets to the absolute core of all this. Resisting that urge to constantly consume content or document everything isn't just about depriving yourself. No, what you're actually doing is training your brain to be present. You're giving it the room it needs for those random, creative thoughts to finally bubble up to the surface. And those are the sparks we're all looking for, right?
Okay, now we're building up to what's probably the most challenging part of this entire quest. Days 4 and 5 are where we face our biggest digital distractions head-on. This is where the real magic can happen.
I want you to think back to that screen time data you looked at on day 1. For most of us, if we're honest, the bulk of our time is funneled into one or maybe 2 specific places. There's usually one main culprit.
So, what is it for you? What's your digital kryptonite? Is it a social media feed, a messaging app, maybe even your email? Just be honest with yourself, because that's our target for day 4.
All right, here we go. On day 4, you delete that one app. Yep, just for 24 hours. The benefit here is massive. You're consciously breaking that automatic muscle memory twitch to open it up. Then on day 5, you get to use all that mental space you've reclaimed. Find a spot, sit by yourself, and instead of reaching for your device, just notice things, the little details, the way the light hits a building, the sounds around you. You're practicing just being an observer in your own life.
So, after 5 days of observing, disconnecting, and maybe rediscovering a few things, the quest ends with the most important step of all, figuring out what it all meant.
This is where you put it all together. Just ask yourself these questions. Were you able to do every challenge? Maybe day 2 was a total breeze, but deleting that one app on day 4 felt nearly impossible. Why do you think that was? What kinds of ideas or feelings came up when you were just sitting there doing nothing? This final step is what turns a fun 5-day challenge into a real, lasting personal insight.
You know, this quote just nails the whole spirit of the quest, especially that no photos challenge. It really highlights the massive difference between digitally archiving a moment and truly living in it. Real memories are built on presence, not on pixels.
And that leaves us with one final thought to carry with you.
The goal here wasn't just to disconnect, it was to reconnect with that part of our minds that really needs empty space to thrive. So the next time you find yourself with a few minutes of downtime, try to resist the urge to fill it, just for a moment, and see what happens. Who knows? Your next brilliant idea might be waiting for you right there in the quiet.